Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be speaking about my updated skincare routine. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely keep watching. Right guys, so today I'm going to be speaking about my updated skincare routine. If you've been following me for a while, you know that a while back I had done a skincare journey slash skincare routine video. And a lot has changed since then. So I decided to do an updated skincare routine, especially because a lot of people have been asking me what I'm using on my skin. How do I get my skin to look the way it's looking right now? Have I changed products? Am I still using the products I used to use? So I decided to just speak about it in a video, which is the easiest way for me to explain everything that went on and then how I got to the products that I'm using right now. So let's have a little bit of a chit chat. In terms of if you would have watched my last video, you know that I was using a lot of skincare from a brand that we have available right here in Trinidad, and that's the XO products. And I used to love the products. I used to really vouch for them. I've used them for a really, really long time, and I actually saw results at the point in time of using the products. If you watched that video, you would know that I had to use Roaccutane at that time to get my skin under control, and then I used those products to help get rid of the hyperpigmentation and to just kind of keep my acne under control. And it worked for the period of time that I used it. And then I got pregnant and I could not use the products just because of the chemicals. I just didn't want to have that on my skin and get absorbed into my body and then risk having transferred it to my baby. There are a lot of risks associated with certain skincare products while pregnant. So just to avoid all of that, I stopped using my skincare routine. I was not as rigorous during pregnancy with my skincare. I literally just would use like a face wash and a moisturizer, all with products that were natural, just so that I wouldn't pose any undue risk to my baby. And then fast forward after pregnancy and delivery, etc., my skin literally broke down. It went from being really clear and clean and nice to looking like an utter trash bag. Like I would break out horrendously along my jawline, my cheeks. The texture on my skin was awful. I had excessive hyperpigmentation, and it was just overall just not nice. And I said, well, maybe it's just the hormones after pregnancy. So let me try to go back into my rigid routine that I was using before I got pregnant, because it had worked before. And then I'm not sure if my skin just changed or if pregnancy and the hormones and stuff just changed my skin altogether. But the products that I was using and that I had loved previously were no longer giving me the results that I had gotten with them before. So I was trying, and if you know, the products are very, very, very expensive. So to have purchased them and then not have them work is literally like a big, big, big waste of money because of how expensive the products actually came up to. If you know my skin type, even before pregnancy was oily or a combination oily. I would get excessively oily in my T-zone, but I would always, always break out right along my cheeks and my chin. And then being like a mixed person, my skin tends to leave post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation every single time. It wouldn't matter whether I would get a pimple and leave it alone, leave it completely alone, don't touch it, don't irritate it, nothing. I would end up with that dark mark after having a pimple. And then, well, my skin was breaking out. So I was getting excessive amounts of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which is very devastating, especially having gone from clear skin and really, really nice skin to back to square one, pre-trying anything like Roaccutane or anything at all. And my products just weren't working. So I went on the hunt looking for something that would give me the results that I had previously. And I tried literally a bunch of different products. There are some brands that I came across that I liked, but they just weren't giving me the full package. So La Roche-Posay is one of them that I had tried and I actually did enjoy using, but it would just kind of dim the breakouts for me. So I wouldn't get as many breakouts, but I was still breaking out. And the texture on my skin was still kind of there, but just not as bad as before. So I said, okay, maybe this is a brand that may work for me if I use it for a prolonged period of time. Maybe I'd get the results I was looking for. And then it just so happened that I met up with one of my friends just at one of the salons in Trinidad. And she had had a meeting with someone who has a brand of acne products that they wanted to speak to her about. And she asked me to just tag along, which I did, and thank God I did. So that brand ended up being Milano Peel. And the person who, at that point in time, was giving us all the information about the brand and just kind of basically educating us on all the positives of the brand, which I'm going to get into later, was from Relaxed Med Aesthetics, Dr. Stephanie. So I decided to give this brand a try just because at the point in time, like I said, I was getting some results with La Roche-Posay, but I wasn't getting the results I was looking for. I was always wanting that skin that didn't need foundation or didn't have me as conscious as I was before, didn't have as much texture, just looked overall very healthy. And I just was not getting that result with La Roche-Posay. I was getting some results. It did like decrease the amount of acne and stuff that I was getting, but it just didn't give me what I was looking for. So I decided to give them a try. Dr. Stephanie decided to come up with an entire routine just based on my skin type and like what I had concerns over. And then we built up my skincare routine, and I've been using it ever since, and literally it has been a game changer. My skin is really, really, really nice right now. It's not perfect as yet, but I've only been using them for probably about 3 to 4 months religiously. And I have seen a drastic difference in the way my skin looks. I'm way more confident. You guys would know I never come on Instagram without like makeup on, and now I feel extremely comfortable to just like be in my natural skin without feeling too conscious of like my hyperpigmentation or the texture of my skin or just the way my skin looks. I literally feel okay to like just be in my general, like my skin. So yeah, that's how I kind of got to this point where I'm no longer using the products I used to use, and now I am like obsessed, in love, really, really grateful for having found this brand. So let's speak a little bit about the brand itself, Milano Peel. Now, prior to speaking to Dr. Stephanie, I've never heard of this brand before, which is why I thought I would never have come across it very, very easily. So the brand is unique in the sense that it is geared towards those persons who have darker skin tones, like us right here in the Caribbean. So I know a lot of you may be looking at me and saying, Leah, you are not dark, you have a fair skin tone, which I totally agree, but I'm mixed. And as a result, my skin would behave as though it were of a darker complexion. Even on the Fitzpatrick scale, even though I look lighter, I have to be very careful because my skin can end up being hyperpigmented very, very easily because of my mixed ethnicity. So I have to kind of be careful, and it is kind of true because whenever I would get acne, I would definitely get intense hyperpigmentation afterwards, which is usually not the case with persons who have lighter or fairer skin. They tend to end up with like rosacea and like redness after they get breakouts, whereas persons of color, like myself, because I am a person of color, gets like those intense hyperpigmentation, dark spots, melasma, those sorts of things we tend to suffer with. And the brand Milano Peel is kind of geared towards darker skin tone. And that is something I don't find a lot of in like the skincare industry in general. So of course we have a bunch of different brands that promote darker skin tones on their Instagram pages, but the products themselves are not like made specifically for dark skin. And I think that's really important, especially when you are looking up for skincare. It's something to just keep in mind, and something I hadn't considered before coming across this brand is that a lot of the skincare brands make products for white or Caucasian style skin, and black skin is different. It's just different. It behaves differently. The melanocytes in the skin behave differently. The acne that black skin experience is different, and as a result you tend to not get as effective results as a white person or a Caucasian person if you use the same type of skincare they use. So I actually found that pretty interesting that this is a brand solely geared towards helping those persons of color fix their acne and skincare problems. Not that persons who are not persons of color can't use the brand, but I like the fact that it is specifically geared towards us. And right here in the Caribbean, we have a lot of persons of color, and a lot of us are hunting for skincare to help fix problems that they were not specifically designed to fix. In all my use of products before this, yes, I would get results, but a lot of the chemicals would be extremely harsh and my skin would be extremely dry, extremely red, extremely flaky. Just overall, just not a pleasant experience, just to get to the point of getting rid of my post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And in the short term, you get like amazing results. You look great and you're very, very excited, of course. That's always what we're looking for. But in the long term, using a lot of products that tend to like bleach the skin can have detrimental effects. We live in the Caribbean, we're exposed to sunlight. That can cause intense side effects in the long term. You can end up with wrinkles. Of course, skin cancer is always a big deal. And it's just things that we don't think about at that point in time because we're getting good results. And as a result, we tend to just be excited for the right now feel of, oh my God, my skin looks amazing. But I know I definitely wasn't really thinking about long term and the side effects of many of these harsh chemicals, how they would affect my skin later on. And what I liked about the brand is that it's geared towards black skin or persons of color's skin, which is basically all of us in the Caribbean. And they tend to use milder or less harsh chemicals that doesn't have the skin as red and irritated and bleached as other brands, which is something I appreciated because after having done the research of long-term side effects of those harsh chemicals on my person of color skin, I decided I don't want to use anything that could potentially have like detrimental effects later on in my life. So I ended up meeting Dr. Stephanie at her medical spa in Port of Spain. It's called Relax Med Aesthetics. And she's really super friendly and really, really bubbly. And she listened to all of my skin issues, specifically my breakouts and the horrendous post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation that has been the bane of my existence. Like literally, why can't you just like leave my face without like giving me a reminder that you were present on my skin? I don't know. Like if I get one or two pimples, I'm always like, okay, fine, whatever. But the fact that I have to get like marks after the pimples has always been like one of my biggest, like makes me the most self-conscious about my skin. And I explained all of that to her. I also explained that my skin had seemed to change a little bit with pregnancy. I'm not sure, it just wasn't reacting to products I was accustomed using. And I gave all of that, like I gave her an entire breakdown of my like skin journey and how I got to the point where I was then. And then she went in to explain to me about the brand a little bit, as well as she went in to telling me that the products were tailored based on my skin issues, my skin type, etc., and what I was looking for, which is something that I like really, really liked. Now, any other skincare I've used before, of course, they have like lines that are geared towards specific issues. So like if it is you were to use La Roche-Posay, they have a acne line, they have a hyperpigmentation line, they have a wrinkle line, they have a whatever line. Of course, it's based on skin issues. But what I liked about this brand that I've never seen in any other brand is that they gear the products based on your skin issues, but it's not like just one size fit all. So yes, I have hyperpigmentation, but based on my sensitive skin type, the fact that I have a baby, and whatever else I was looking for, she was able to give me a product specifically for that. It's not like there's just this one hyperpigmentation line that you have to use, that I have to use, that the person who doesn't have a baby and doesn't have as much sensitivity in their skin has to use. It varies, it differs. So if it is you have less sensitivity in your skin, but you still have hyperpigmentation and you don't have the constraints of having a baby, then she will give you another product that could get rid of your hyperpigmentation, which is something that I absolutely loved. So I like the fact that the brand is a little bit more tailored and more customizable, and it's something I hadn't experienced before. So it's not like, oh, here, just take the hyperpigmentation line, or here, just take the wrinkle line, or here, just take the acne line. they have different cleansers to treat different skin types, to treat different types of acne, etc. And that's something that I appreciated a lot. Another thing that I liked about going to Dr. Stephanie in particular was the fact that she was also aware of that we're in the middle of a pandemic and that there are constraints on budgets. So that while you might like to get the entire line, it may be a little bit difficult to purchase the entire line at that point in time. You may be able to purchase one product at a time or two products at a time every month when you get your salary, whatever the case may be. So she was actually very, very flexible to that, so that she might have said, here, take these 3 products, start off with these 3 products to get your skin ready. And then when you can afford, here, you can add these 2, you can add this one, you can add whatever. And that's something that I liked, because most times you have to use the entire line, or you have to purchase the entire thing to get the results that you're looking for. And you don't often get like persons being as flexible or as understanding or as accommodating when it is you have like budgetary constraints or whatever the case may be as to why you can't purchase the entire line at that point in time. So that's something that was like a plus for me, and I would definitely recommend that you guys check her out, if not just for the fact that she is very, very understanding and very, very accommodating. And then what else I liked about the brand is that she went on to explain to me that I don't have to use the products every single day. She's going to create a routine where I don't have to use the products every single day, and that means that my products last longer, and of course that fits into budget once again, so that's also a plus. And 2, you tend to not have as much like skin irritation over products because you're not using it every day. You're giving your skin a little bit of a break in between. Another thing is that these products were nowhere near expensive as the products that I mentioned previously. And I like that. I like the fact that I got results without having to like basically remortgage my house. So that's always a plus. So let's go into my actual routine and the routine that she came up with for me. So let's start off. So starting off, obviously I have to start off with a cleanser, and I have to use the Glycosal Medicated cleanser. So this is a deep cleansing medicated cleanser that clears skin blemishes, removes dirt, oils, and makeup. So basically I use this product every other day, and the days where I don't use this product, I use like a face wash from Simple, the brand Simple, where there's no like additives to it. I use that on every other day that I don't use this. Basically 1 pump does my entire face. The texture of it is kind of like a serum, like a soapy serum. That's the best way I can describe it. It's clear. It kind of smells a little bit like medical grade skincare. If you've ever used medical grade skincare, you'll know what I mean. It's not harsh at all. It doesn't burn. I don't get any tingling or anything at all from it, but it works really, really well. And it has, I guess, salicylic acid and glycolic acid in it, which helps to like resurface the skin and has anti-aging properties. And the salicylic acid helps to like declog pores. So this is really, really good when you have acne. So the next thing is the toner. Now she told me that I could use the toner every day or every other day like I would the face wash. It just depends on how my skin reacts and what I'm looking for. If I don't use this toner every day and I wish to use it every other day, then I could buy a simple face toner to use on the days I'm not using the medicated toner. So this one is the Clarity Mandelic Salicylic Toner, and basically this has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. It helps with discoloration. It can tend to shrink your pores, reduce oil, helps with razor bumps and all these skin issues that you may be having. It actually says that it's a unique toner, deep cleans and exfoliates with remarkable skin lightening properties. I have hyperpigmentation, so this kind of helps with that. And it says it's a triple blend of alpha and beta acids, and is boosted with vitamin C, green tea, and aloe vera. So I love this toner, and I tend to use it every other day, and I use one of the Simple toners on the days that I don't use this. I tend to use this and the face wash on the same days. Basically, I use all the medical grade skincare on the days together, and I skip the days and use like Simple products in between. The next thing that I had to use was the salicylic acid treatment. So it's 6% salicylic acid, and basically salicylic acid is used to like declog pores. So especially on my nose, where I would get like a lot of those like blackheads or like filaments on the pores of my nose, this helped a lot with that. And this one kind of feels similar to the face wash. It's kind of like a serum, kind of like very, very thin, but it feels nice on the skin. And I've noticed a great reduction in like the way my nose pores look using this. So I use this first on the skin after the toner. The next thing I would use is the Mandelic and Azealic acid serum. Now, this one is in a dropper form. It's very like liquidy. Now, I don't use this on the same days that I'm using the salicylic acid. So if I decide I don't want to use the salicylic acid one day, I want to use something a little bit more potent, I tend to use the Mandelic and Azealic acid on those days, just because I don't want to have too much acid on my skin. It can tend to irritate my skin and burn my skin. So I can swap out the salicylic acid for this on the days that I'm not using the salicylic acid, or on my medicated days when I don't want to use the salicylic acid. So the next product that I would use is the Retinoic A 0.1% treatment serum. And retinoic acid, or retinols in general, tend to help with like resurfacing of the skin, and that always helps with hyperpigmentation. So I use that right after I use the salicylic acid. And sometimes I would not use this one every single other day, if that makes sense. Sometimes I might use it like 3 times for the week on the days that I'm using the medicated stuff. It's just kind of like you could tailor to suit how your skin responds to different things. This one is more of like a cream, like it feels more like a cream than anything else. And then I would use some niacinamide treatment, and it is like basically another cream to the skin. And it has anti-inflammatory properties. It's very hydrating. It tends to like rebalance the skin. So I use the niacinamide treatment as one of my last products, and I like this. It makes my skin feel very, very like moist, and it soothes my skin. I like that a lot. And then this for me is one of the products that I absolutely love. This one is their Milano Skin Lightening Retinol Lotion, and it doesn't have any hydroquinone in it. So as we know, hydroquinone is one of those products that are very popular because it helps with lightening of the skin. Now, I have a baby, and I don't want to use it around 7 because it can irritate her skin. She's a baby. I don't want to expose her to something as harsh as hydroquinone. So, having told Dr. Stephanie that, she gave me this product, and it's safe to use around babies because it doesn't have hydroquinone in it. And it's kind of like a yellow. It's really like bright yellow. It kind of is like a liquidy, creamy substance, and it contains kojic acid, arbutin, retinol, and vitamin C. And I really like this. I use it especially in the areas that I have my hyperpigmentation, and I've seen a great result with this product. And then I also have my hyaluronic acid ceramide hydrator. This one is obviously my moisturizer, so I put this on after I put on all my serums, etc., just because it's a little bit heavier, and it tends to like seal my face off. And this one has the skin feeling really nice. I tend to put this on my neck as well because I like the way it feels. And then last but not least, I have my Tinted Mineral Sunscreen, and this one is SPF Broad Spectrum, and this one just kind of gives my skin a really nice vibe because it's a little bit tinted, so it gives a little bit of coverage to my skin, but it feels really nice as well. So that is what I was initially given when I started using the products from her, and then just as an add-on, when I decided that I wasn't getting rid of my hyperpigmentation as intensely as I wanted to, she decided to give me something else in the Milano Stat line. This is their Skin Lightening Retinol Pads, and this one contains hydroquinone. So I would only use this on the days that I'm not around 7, and that 7 is not exposed to my skin. I can't touch her. It's not going to transfer to her. So I use it right after my toner. It comes in like pads, basically, and the pad has the medicated stuff on it, and then I would continue after this with all the products that I listed previously. So that's basically my entire skincare routine. I didn't have all the products initially. I purchased like gradually. Like I said, it's something that she allows, and I really appreciate that. So far, these are all the products that I use in my skincare. I don't actually see myself adding anything to it, but yeah, so far I've been really satisfied with the products that I've used and the results that I have gotten. Of course, going to Dr. Steph, I'm now considering doing a little bit more, so I'm going to consider starting to do a little bit of peels, chemical peels, because those tend to have really nice resurfacing properties. So I'm going to consider starting to do those, and I possibly might consider doing microneedling, which tends to like help with specific spots, because you could like target specific areas that are really stubborn when it comes to hyperpigmentation, so I might consider doing that as like an add-on procedure to this line. But so far, this is what I've gotten without having done any of those things. I haven't done any microneedling or any of the chemical peels to say my skin is reliant on like a medical procedure in order to get the results I've gotten. So far, it's just basically from the skincare products, which is something that's really good. Right guys, so that's it for my updated skincare routine. I hope the video was informative and fun and you learned about a brand that I had no idea about, and thank God I actually found the brand. I highly recommend that you guys check out Relax Med Aesthetics and have a chat with Dr. Stephanie. She literally will like change the game for you when it comes to your skin issues. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, leave me a question, leave me a comment, message me. I try always to respond to you guys. And until next time, guys, bye.